So now we're going to crack on with the coupling, and the couplings are part of the white metal pack. That's optional, that I'm actually going to fit. So we'll get all the stuff out now. So we've got two coupling hooks, and we've got a sort of bracing bar and some nuts and bolts to put it all together. So here we are, we've broken it all down. Let's concentrate on one. So the first thing we're going to do is just check the white metal for flashing, such as here. We'll give that a file off. I think the other one is better, but that needs filing as well. Okay, so what's going to happen then is in the center of this mounting beam, we're going to drill an M3 hole for the bolt, and then at the second hole that you see there, we're going to drill a hole to receive the bolt through. This whole length is actually too long for the space that's available, so just after the last hole that you see there, I'm going to be cutting this off, and the same with the other side. I use 3-link couplings, so I need to have some sort of hook system on here. So they provide a bit of copper in the kit. I think this is too soft, so I'm actually going to use brass. Piece of brass rod I've got, a bit of scrap, and that's going to form a hook through there. So without any further ado, let's crack on. So concerning the painting then, I'm actually going to paint the white metal parts once the hooks are glued in, and I'll do that off camera. And then the beam, I'm not going to be painting the beam until it's actually glued in, once everything's set up. So here we go, put some glue on. Let's get this lined up. Like that. Other one. Might just have to wipe that off if I can. That'll do. So we'll leave that to set. So with the actual coupling painted, it's time to put all this together. So we'll do that. The ring washer in between there. That is too stiff. Still a little bit stiff. That's better. That's fine. So I'll do that with both, and then we'll get them into the coach. So here we have a complete set, and it needs to go in this position. I've just discovered that the cross beam, it's not as thick as the buffer beam, so when the coupling rotates, it's rubbing against the buffer beam. So what I'm going to do is to shim up the sides with some scrap so that the coupling is just that little bit free. It's got a little bit of free room then, so it's not rubbing against the buffer beam. So let's get the glue on. Yeah, that's better. So, check it's in the middle. I might just put a couple of clamps on there just to hold it tight. So there we have it. We'll let that dry for a couple of hours. Do the other end, and then we're about done. So we're not quite finished yet with testing the locomotive on a track. If you remember, there's a non-painted part of the underside there in the middle, and that's because I'm going to add a little bit of weight to the carriage. I like to give the rolling stock a bit of momentum. This is an 8 cm by 3 cm by 6 mm thick steel bar. I put the same weight on the first coach that I made, so it's obviously handy to have them all at the same weight. So I'll just put this on with some epoxy, then we'll finish this off, the painting, primer and matte black, and then we'll also do exactly the same at either end with the coupling beams that aren't painted yet, and then we're ready to test it out on a track. Okay, so here we are testing the carriage. Number 20, the carriage we've worked on is the rear of the two here. So what are we actually looking for with this carriage when testing it? So first thing, we're looking for stability of the coach, that there's no wobbles and that it's sitting nice and vertical on the rails. There's no leaning to one side or anything. And then we're listening for any scrapes or squeaks and you know, that sort of thing, and just, you know, the general performance, making sure that it rides points okay and there's no binding. Its general behavior is as expected, and I'm happy to report that in this case the coach performed perfectly well. So there we have it, the last video in the series. If you've been following me from episode 1, thank you for watching, and I hope I was able to share something that was useful to you. Currently, I have no plans for another construction series this year, but you never know. If you are wondering what other stuff is in the planning for 2023 on this channel, follow the link in the description. Thank you again, and bye bye.